Greg just explained that the costs of owning a home are more affordable than they've ever been because of these low interest rates. But obviously, you need that deposit. We've been telling all of you for the last 12 months, now is the time, get in, don't wait, because prices are not coming back. They're continuing to go up. So rentvesting is an option for most of you that are my age or older, even a little bit younger. All you would have ever known is save money, don't squander money, and go and buy yourself your home that you live in. For those of you that are a bit younger, you obviously might be saying, well, I can't afford a home where I want to live, or, that's not going to be the lifestyle that I want to live. So this is an option that's come up. Can someone explain, what exactly is rentvesting? Why is it so popular?
Sure, James. Look, experts are saying that enter the property ladder by buying an investment property that you can afford, even if you don't want to live there. So you buy the investment property and then you rent at your desired area. So this gives young people the chance to enter the property market while not sacrificing their lifestyle.
So is that sort of, just to try and make that simple for everyone, you're saying perhaps the place that you might want to buy to live in might be $2 million, which means if you wanted a 20% deposit, you need $400,000 saved up. And that might be unaffordable for you. But rather than sit on the sidelines doing nothing, continue to rent that property and go and buy an investment property like an apartment that might only be $500,000. You might say, I would never live here. Doesn't matter, because someone will and someone wants to rent that. And equivalently, you might only need $100,000. So 25% of what it might cost you ordinarily in deposit to buy that home you want to live in.
You're 100% right. Yes.
Okay, good. So if people are thinking about it, because it does sound like a really good option for people that are struggling to get the amount of deposit for a home, is there some sort of tips or guidance that you can give them as to what they should be doing and looking out for to make sure it is successful for them?
Thought you never ask. Yes, look, there's a few things that I'd like to go through with Rentvest. So first of all, why Rentvest? As prices continue to surge, housing affordability is becoming a very big issue. So rentvesting is a fantastic stepping stone to help people get where they want to be. So rather than waiting for years to buy the property you want by saving a larger deposit, Rentvest allows those people to buy a property that suits the budget or their existing savings. Now, another thing you've got to look here is that your money is working for you. So your money will be growing at a much faster rate in property rather than sitting in a bank account. We all know the saying, rent money is dead money, but not when you have your money working elsewhere for you. So if you've got an investment property, then you're renting, it's not dead money. It's very, very different. So, one of the things that probably comes first in people's mind once they buy a property is, oh my gosh, now I got debt. I got to work out how I'm going to pay the debt. So instead of thinking like that, think that you need to buy a property that has a good return and would cover most of your repayments. And especially now with the lowest interest rates that we've ever had, this is much easier to do than ever before. Now, another thing is you've got to broaden your horizons. So rentvestors are not limited to an area when it comes to purchasing. It's not just about bricks and mortar, how many bedrooms the house might have, or the weather in the city you're going to purchase, whether you like it or not. As my accountant always told me, when you buy an investment property, buy with your head, not with your heart. Now, who should rentvest? People are not sure, should I rentvest? So there's a number of different people that should rentvest. People that like to travel, because at the end of the day, the borders will eventually open up. And those people that like to travel, they don't know where they want to live long term. So this is perfect for them. Career-driven buyers, they prefer to rentvest because in case they get a job interstate or even overseas. Also empty nesters. So, they sort of sold the house, they've got a big bundle of cash, And rather than rent, you should rent, use that cash to buy 2 or 3 investment properties, and to bolster your income, and later on fund your retirement. Now, there's some aspects to consider. Once you rent invest, you become a landlord. So you've always got to consider costs of repairs and maintenance, especially if the property is older. You got to think that tenants might move out, and you might have a period of no rental property, or maybe the property, especially if it's a house, it's rent in a terrible mess. So a good property manager, however, should take care of that for you to make sure that that sort of minimizes. So before I finish, there are some tips that I want to give out to all those rent investors out there, or future rent invest. First of all, when searching for a property, keep the tenant in mind. Look for growth areas, amenities, schools, public transports, and all those essentials. Now, the experts say buying an area that doesn't have too many other investment properties or much competition. I personally disagree with that, because I know that the areas that people want to rent, which is in and around the city, are the ones that are always have competition, but they're also always popular. So I would sort of say, find a property with a point of difference. So whether it's concierge, modern facilities, things like that would attract tenants to want to live there. Another tip is disregard where you live or the opinion of the property. For an example, if you buy an apartment, you say that's a great investment, it's the right price, but it hasn't got great views. Remember, buy with your head, not with your heart. It's the rental return you get that matters. Another tip is try to break even. So crunch the numbers and see if the rental return would cover all or most of your mortgage repayments. Try to find a low maintenance property, so that reduces any costs you might have later on. Now, also people that might be living in a property that they own, they might find the transition a little bit hard to become a tenant. So you always got to think about that. And also, lastly but not least, account for additional costs for maintaining of a home. That's your responsibility now of being a landlord. So if you buy an old property, there's huge possibilities that there's always things you need to repair. So buying a new apartment is always sort of top of the list when it comes to Rentvest, because it sort of eliminates most of those problems.